Hello everyone, it's Mana here. Today we are diving into a pretty serious topic. Toxic relationships and romance scams. Yep, it's something we don't talk about enough, but it's so important. As you probably know, the internet can be super risky if you are not careful. Toxic relationships can sometimes lead you right into a trap without you even realizing it. Recently in Japan, there have been some shocking cases where men fell for these scams and suddenly, few of them escalated into really tragic situations. It's scary stuff. So, in this video, I'm going to share a few of examples of what's been happening, how to recognize the red flags, and most importantly, how to protect yourself from falling into these situations. So, let's get into it. Alright, let's dive into the first story, a true crime case that shocked Japan. Back in 2018, the spotlight fell on a wealthy Japanese businessman. He was famous for openly bragging about spending millions on beautiful women. But in a shocking turn of events, he was found dead at the age of 77 with traces of illegal stimulants in his system. And the main suspect, his 25-year-old wife, a former hostess and model. She was stunning, young, and living an extravagant lifestyle that was allegedly founded by his fortune. The marriage, as many speculated, seemed less like a love story and more like a financial arrangement. Things became even more suspicious when reports came out that she had been planning to divorce her shortly before his death. What's wild is that for years, this case remained unsolved. But in 2021, police finally arrested his wife, suspecting that she had given him the stimulants to claim his massive inheritance. Whether she's guilty or not, this case is an eerie reminder of how love and money can sometimes turn into a deadly mix. This story also highlights a common pattern. How men can be drawn to beauty and youthful energy, especially in Japan. Many men feel drawn to younger women who appear to need their help or support. And look, no judgment if that's your type, but here's the thing. If you are attracted to someone solely for their youthful looks or charm, you might not realize they are using that as a tool. Here's how to spot the red flags. If she doesn't seem to share quality time with you, avoid spending her own money on you, and is overly dependent on your finance, it's time to take a step back. Relationships should be a two-way street, so if things feel one-sided, it's okay to create a distance and protect yourself before you get caught in something toxic. The second story, let's talk about a modern Japanese scammer known as an itadaki joshi, which literally means girls who take. This term refers to women who intentionally date men to take their money, and one infamous example is Riri-chan, who made headlines for her manipulative tactics. She was eventually arrested and sentenced to 8 years in prison, but her story is shocking and worth sharing. Here's what happened. Riri-chan created a fake damsel in distress persona, making herself seem weak and helpless to gain sympathy from men. She specifically targeted single men who weren't necessarily wealthy but had disposable income they didn't know what to do with. She played into their desire to help and protect her, and the money just kept rolling in. But here's the twist. She wasn't just spending the money on herself. She was also pouring it into the guy who worked at the host club. The guy knew exactly where the money was coming from, her scams. Instead of stopping her, he took full advantage of the situation and started charging her even more money. It became a vicious cycle of manipulation. She was scamming others, but at the same time, she was being exploited herself. It's a wild toxic loop that just goes to show how dangerous and messy these kinds of relationships can get. From these stories, one thing is clear. These women have done their homework on men. So here's some advice. Don't spend your hard-earned money on what she wants so easily. If she comes to you asking for financial help, don't just hand over the cash. Instead, try to guide her toward improve her life, help her grow mentally, emotionally, or even find practical solutions. Because real love It's about connection, not transactions. If I had a kid, I would take the same approach. I wouldn't just hand them money. The truth is, people with money problems can't usually solve their issues with money alone. There's almost always something deeper going on, like poor habits, bad decisions, or emotional struggles. And even if you are in a long-term relationship with someone you care about, you still need to be cautious if she starts bringing up financial troubles. Love doesn't mean ignoring red flags. It's okay to want to help, but handing over and spending a large amount of money on her isn't always the solution. So, to help you avoid getting caught in these kind of scams, here are 3 golden rules to keep in mind. Number 1, assume the money you lend is gone for good. If you decide to lend someone money, mentally prepare yourself to never see it again. Does that make you think twice before opening your wallet, especially if something about the regret feels a little off? Number 2, if her financial situation seems shady or mysterious, pay close attention. Watch how she spends her money and listen carefully to how she talks about it. Number 3, if the relationship feels close but she really wants to meet or never invites you to her house, it's a major red flag. She might be hiding something or someone from you. Real relationships are built on trust and transparency, so if she is shutting you out, don't ignore those gut feelings. Sometimes people find themselves stuck in a toxic relationship without even realizing it. Your emotions and possessiveness can take over, and before you know it, you are already trapped in a dangerous situation like sinking into quicksand. And let's be real, it's not just men who need to be careful. There are so many cases where women get trapped in toxic relationships and find it incredibly hard to break free. I've been lucky though. I've never met a truly bad man, but I never forget to stay cautious and most importantly, stay independent. I really hope this video helps you spot red flags and avoid falling into these traps. Stay safe, stay smart, and have a peaceful day. Thank you so much for watching my video. Until then, I would be happy if you hit the subscribe button. See you in the next video. Bye!